haven't posted a new episode for a few weeks now because I've been battling this weird ear infection, and when I talk it sounds like I'm underwater in my head. I can't tell what I sound like or anything. I'm on my third round of antibiotics and steroids, but I will persevere and begin by saying this is the Kazdoy Closet. I'm Kazdoy. That's my closet full of all the stuff that I love. And today we look at which discs we picked up during the ongoing 50% off KINO sale at Barnes & Noble. This thing ends June 15th, so I'm recording this on June 5th. There's still time to take advantage of it online or in store if you have access to Barnes & Noble. We're talking 6 different films, 6 different genres. Let's check it out. Going chronologically, we're going to begin with Macbeth from 1948 and 1950. 2 running times also, 119 minutes and 85 minutes. I'll explain that in a minute. This is in black and white. Of course, this is William Shakespeare's classic about a Scottish lord who is tragically undone by his own ambition. Orson Welles adapted, produced, directed, and stars in this. This falls in between his films, The Lady from Shanghai and Black Magic. Now, when it comes to Shakespeare, I do have a couple of other Welles Shakespeare films in my collection, Othello and Chimes at Midnight, both on Criterion. And, Shakespeare's a challenge, and I taught English for over 30 years. I'm familiar with, I'd say, only 4 Shakespeare plays, really familiar with them, Macbeth being one of them. Still, it's a challenge. Subtitles, I think, are a must. This comes with 2 discs. There's a long version, apparently, with heavy Scottish accents being used by the actors, and then a shorter version where they tone down the accents quite a bit. I think that's the one I'm going to watch. So what's on this disc? Well, I was kind of nervous about this because it's a blind buy, but the references I read to it being visually using noir elements and expressionistic elements kind of convinced me. Plus, I'm a Welles fan. I have a lot of his films in my collection, and so I went for it. There are 2 audio commentaries on here. There's an interview with the film historian. There's an interview with Peter Bogdanovich. I've read several of Bogdanovich's interviews with Welles. They're always interesting. I recommend those. And there's some archivist things, features here, like about the restoration, about Republic Pictures. There's the slipcover. And there is this very nice reversible artwork as well. And speaking of master filmmakers, our next pickup was Diary of a Chambermaid from 1964, also black and white. This one's in French. This is about an enigmatic Parisian woman who takes a job as a chambermaid at with a decadent family in their pre-World War II estate, and she encounters a hotbed of hypocrisy and perversion. Directed by the great Luis Buñuel. This comes after his, what I think are superior films, Viridiana and The Exterminating Angel. I watched this the other night. There's a review of it on Letterboxd. It was a blind buy, though. I'm a big fan of Buñuel. I have several in his collection also. I find him always thoughtful, always provocative. And while I was watching this, I thought, what's one thing that makes him so unique? And I think it might be that he just has such a habit of showing and not telling, showing the characters acting a certain way, and we have to kind of figure out what their motivations are, where their head is coming from. As usual, themes are here about the bourgeoisie, fascism, racism, sexual obsessions. This comes with an audio commentary by the great Imogen Sarah Smith, so it's one of the few commentaries I might actually listen to because she's always so interesting and so thoughtful. There's a 20-minute analysis of the film, which I thought was very good. There's an interview with the screenwriter. There's the slipcover, and there is some reversible artwork as well. Switching gears completely, our third pickup was A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum from 1966. This one's in color. I believe all the rest I'm going to show you today are in color. This is a Stephen Sondheim musical comedy about a conniving slave in ancient Rome who promises his master that he'll get the girl he's in love with in return for his freedom. This one has a cast of comedy legends: Zero Mostel, Phil Silvers, Buster Keaton, and later in his career, and Jack Gilford, Michael Crawford, who starred in Phantom of the Opera, of course, on Broadway, plays the love-smitten master. It was directed by Richard Lester shortly after he made the Beatle films, A Hard Day's Night and Help. I watched this several times growing up. This was not a blind buy. I always loved this one, so it's kind of a nostalgia factor here for me. And I'm not a real big musical fan, but this one really worked for me. So it's been on my list for a long time. I think what I liked growing up was the slapstick and the sight gags Richard Lester is often known for, and just the over-the-top comedy performances. What's on this disc? It looks like it's just bare bones. I don't even think it has a trailer or anything. Next up, well, you can always throw in a spaghetti western, right? And that's what I did with Navajo Joe from 1967. This is about a ruthless band of outlaws that destroys a Navajo village, but one man survives and seeks revenge. Sounds like the plot of a lot of spaghetti westerns, doesn't it? I had doubts about this blind buy, but it was directed by Sergio Corbucci, who also directed Django and The Great Silence and The Hellbenders. I have all three of those, really like all those, and I'm a fan of spaghetti westerns in general. Burt Reynolds stars in here. I don't know about him, especially playing an Indian. He always seems kind of jokey to me, but I always think of Norm Macdonald imitating Burt Reynolds when I think of Burt Reynolds. But all right, we'll go with it. What helps also is the music is by the great Ennio Morricone. This was praised by people like Quentin Tarantino and director Alex Cox, who provides a commentary on this one. So this has the commentary and it has the slipcover. Same art though. The fifth disc that I picked up is actually a pretty recent release on KINO, and that is Vice Squad from 1982. This is about a single mother who is a prostitute by night and then is forced to work undercover for the police in order to catch a homicidal pimp who is stalking the streets of Hollywood. I'm not sure if I've seen this one in the past or not, but I'm kind of a sucker for films set in the sleazy streets of Hollywood and New York City in the 70s and 80s. I looked at the trailer. It looks a little bit dated, you know, the clothes, the slang. The prostitutes in the trailer look like mostly they're suburban girls who are dressed up to go clubbing for the night or something. But catch this, John Alcott is a cinematographer. Now, he worked on 2001: A Space Odyssey, The Shining, Barry Lyndon, and A Clockwork Orange. So, boy, that's not going to convince you, that nothing will. And half price, this Blu-ray was $15.99. So there's 2 audio commentaries here. There's like 6 various interviews. There's a feature on the film locations, which I really want to check out. And there's a slipcover, and there's this reversible artwork also. And the final disc that I picked up for this KINO sale is Rambling Rose from 1991. This is set in the American South during the Depression, when a young woman moves in with a family and has a troubled past, and her sexual nature impacts the family and the small town that she's living in. Now, this one's been on my list since its release, which was not too long ago. This was not a blind buy. I've seen it before. I think I had a laser disc of this a long time ago, and there's a review of this on Letterboxd if you want to check that out. But Laura Dern stars here. She's one of my favorite actresses. She's sympathetic, she's vulnerable, she's sweet, she's very sensual, tragic in this film. This one comes after her performances in Blue Velvet and Wild at Heart. Now, her mother, Diane Ladd, plays the wife of this family. She's quite progressive and educated for the time. And Dern and Ladd were both nominated for Oscars for this film. Also included here, Robert Duvall and Lucas Haas, both very good. It was directed by Martha Coolidge, who also directed Valley Girl, which I also liked. And there are 2 audio commentaries. There's an interview with Martha Coolidge, and there is the slipcover. The artwork's the same underneath it, same thing. So those are the 6 discs we picked up during this ongoing KINO sale at Barnes & Noble, online and in-store. I bought all these in-store. So feel free to leave a comment or suggestion down below. Hope I sounded okay. It's kind of hard to tell with my ear totally plugged up. Leave a thumbs up. Don't leave a thumbs down. Subscribe would be great. Share this with your friends and neighbors. Subscribing is free. Also free as we are on the Letterboxd app under the Kazdoy Closet. Check us out there. What's not free is my ebook is available. It is True Tales from the Teacher Trenches, the ups and downs from 32 years of teaching. It's available on Amazon.com. It's for your Kindle, but if you don't have a Kindle, you can use the free Kindle app on any device of your choice, and the ebook is $1.99. So, hey, thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it. See you next time.